Economic Development Corporations. So the Bayfield County Economic Development Corporation, our mission, as Kelly mentioned, is to improve the economic climate by supporting new and existing businesses. Our slogan, we came up with "Love Where You Work," because it really captures the essence of why it's great to live here and work here. And also our services. This is a new flyer we just made up. We've got it in the back there just to capsulize a few things and not necessarily run over everything, but what we do, of course, a no-fee service, which same thing as Betsy does. We connect with funding sources, help folks if they have some regulatory issues to help navigate those, and we've done some of that. Work with folks on business planning, review business plans, connect folks to all types of resources, local, state, and regional, and make business-to-business connections, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. So our history is 19 years ago, at the end of July, in 1999, the BCDC was born. The articles of incorporation were set, and so we've just almost come out of the teenage years, so we'll be 20 next year. So that's our brief history there. I'm a staff of one with the BCDC, and I'm a self-employed contractor to the Bayfield County Economic Development Corporation. And one of the key things that I feel is important, of course, is to discern if companies need funding to either start or expand. And one of our key partners happens to be here tonight, Ken Pearson of the Northwest Regional Planning Commission. I was on their loan review, one of their loan review boards for 4 years. We reviewed business plans, loan applications, and then depending on that, moved ahead and approved those loans. So it was very interesting. Different type of businesses around the 10-county northwestern region, and so that's been a very good connection. We have a very good partnership in connecting businesses to, in addition to their bank lenders, perhaps, they're working with bank lenders for funding. Northwest Regional is a great gap financer to just pull in the rest of the financing needed for the project. And then I know a lot of the day-to-day things that I do in my position. And with big drum roll, Kelly said I had a big announcement. Well, I am planning to retire at the end of this year, and because of that, we felt that it would be prudent through our board to set a 2-year strategic plan, and there's a picture of our consultant that we brought in, Seth Hudson of Cedar Corporation, just showcasing that we've launched that strategic plan. We felt it important that we have it in place so when we do have a new executive director, they can have a very good direction to be off and running. Or walking fast. So now we start with our acronym of ABCs. A, Betsy and I came up with Area Economic Development. And we feel, as certainly when I worked with Dale, the previous director, that there really are no boundaries. What's good for business in Bayfield County is good for business in Ashland County. And this is a visual, might be hard to see, but to the left it shows this is a 2017 visual, but it shows that there's 995 folks that do not live in Bayfield County. And that doesn't mean that they're just coming from Douglas County, but from surrounding counties, such as Ashland County. So they don't live here, but they work in Bayfield County. There's 2,679 people who live and work in Bayfield County. And then the arrow to the right says there's 3,761 folks that live in Bayfield County but work outside the county. And I'm sure that if I had a similar visual of Ashland County, there'd still be that inflow and outflow of folks working in the different counties as well. So when there's good jobs in either county, it works best for all of them. Placemaking is an initiative that has gotten more traction lately. We've had through our Visions Northwest Economic Development Group some presentations on this, and we had millennials come in, and they said, well, some of the most important things that we like to see in communities is that there's positive entertainment. That means coffee shops, music in the park, places to socialize. So these type of amenities are important to keeping younger folks here and hopefully bringing new folks into the area. There is a program through the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation called Connect Communities, where communities sign up and they work within other communities in Wisconsin to trade off ideas and strengthen their communities as well. So that's another facet of bringing new amenities, hopefully to keep people here and also attract them more. Because we need a great quality of life, and we've got it. If we can make it better, it's better for new business. There are challenges, of course. We don't have a 4-lane highway. This is something that Dale and I talked about a lot, that the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, once in a while, they'll send out an interest of a company coming outside of Wisconsin. They want a site in Wisconsin. And every time we get one of these, it'd say that this company needs to be within 5 miles of a 4-lane highway. Well, we can just take that and throw that application away because we don't have it. And when there is an area that has a 4-lane highway, there tends to be more businesses that will gather around there because it does bring them closer to markets by having that type of an amenity. So it's a challenge that we're working through. We don't have it, but we have other good things going on. We have a challenge of an aging workforce. Many other counties in northern Wisconsin have that challenge, and also again the challenge to retain and attract talent is always a challenge, but we have partners such as the Northwest Wisconsin Workforce Investment Board, and I'll talk a bit about them later, that come alongside and work with businesses and help in that regard to strengthen the workforce. And advantages, overall in Bayfield County, we have a very good broadband infrastructure, and I'll talk about that in a bit. Tourism is a key economic driver for Bayfield County, and certainly Ashland County as well. Bayfield County Tourism and the local chambers really promote, and they bring those type of dollars into the county year after year that continues to grow. Forestry is a strong economic driver in this region as well. Bayfield County, that's their strongest revenue, and they manage it well. So we also have manufacturing in the region. Even though we're farther away from markets, folks have found their niche, and they love where they work. A couple of years ago, I was at a seminar, and I met Phil Schneider, who is a leader in the area of business site selection. And he shared what he felt was the 4 pillars of economic development. Workforce. To develop the workforce, to retain the workforce, and that's where the partners such as the Northwest Wisconsin Workforce Investment Board are constantly doing to help us in our jobs. Infrastructure, it's important to have a robust infrastructure to tie to having the availability of jobs. Finance, having banks available, lenders, so that people can start businesses and grow businesses. That's always important. And governance, having good governing bodies that can come along and support what businesses want to do to get started or to grow. So these all kind of need to work together like a piece of puzzle to make great economic development success. Now we get into the B of the acronym, which we call business projects, business relationships. I make about 200 or so business visits a year, and I find it always interesting as I get out to learn about the businesses, how many people we have that have creative businesses. And we have businesses that have been in business in this area for 25, 30, 40, 50 years and more. And that's something that people have wanted to stay here and grow and raise a family here. So we're proud of that. And I enjoy getting out and discerning what the needs are of the businesses. And when I listen that they're saying, well, could you help me with this? And then I'll say, let's see what I can do for you. And then I happen to go to another business, and they say, I have this need. And there's many times when I've been able to connect those two businesses to help each other. And an example, a few years ago, I was visiting with Ashland Ford Chrysler. They wanted to increase their internet capabilities. I happened to have met with Norvato just previously to that. I happen to know where their broadband fiber optic line was, which wasn't too far from Ashland Ford Chrysler. I put them together, and they worked it out to get a line there, and it so happened that it was also handy that we talked about infrastructure before. We were able to bring that broadband line just across the road to the Bayfield County Business Park, which I'll talk about in a bit. Also, just discerning, what are the key needs for the businesses. We did a survey just recently this spring, and one of the key needs was marketing, and also funding. Of course, that's a constant. But so we put together, in collaboration with the Bayfield Chamber and Visitor Bureau, a social marketing media event with Hannah Stonehouse Hudson. She talked about Facebook, and was all over my head, but she's such a great resource, and it was very helpful to many folks. I go out and I connect with many businesses in the area, because in addition to the majority of the funding that we get through Bayfield County for our EDC, we also have private funding through businesses. And I keep connected with them, and I feel it's always been important that I would go out, and if I am thinking that I want this business to potentially support us, I need to earn the right to ask them for the funding by getting out and connecting with them and doing my best to serve them. And of course, our BCEDC board, it's just essential that you have a good board, that they can provide very good insight and direction, and we have that with BCEDC. And now we get to the C's, the collaboration, community, and communication. And as it notes here, collaboration with community and regional partners is key to economic development. Communication is the glue that ties and keeps those relationships together and functioning. Well, we have a great partnership with Bayfield County, and one of the ways that we've been able to work on money to do some planning for the Bayfield County Business Park. And that shows a visual here, and we have a actual road construction going into that business park right now. So it's great to have the foresight that we can work together as a group, and we have other businesses that are involved in that planning as well. And I have a very good relationship with the county board and the county supervisor, administrator, Mark Abels-Allison. And I just recognized that I happened to go past an area here that I need to get to. Well, for some reason, that slide took a vacation. So I'll explain. It was a beautiful slide. Yeah, I don't know what happened. But it also, it was back where we talked about business projects and business relationships. This year it says continue, but it left. So what was on there is I'm talking about some current projects that we're working on. We've been working on for a while. And one of them is, oh, it's right here. Well, David said I might, have some laughter going on, so glad we can chime in. I just went through that a little fast. So here's some current projects that we've been working on. You've heard of the Telemark potential redevelopment. It was 4 years ago that I met with the potential developers and assisted them along the way. Other folks have come along to do that as well. And they're still moving forward. There's some challenges that they're working through to obtain the property, funding it, etc. But a group of us stakeholders got together, including Janet Bewley, the senator for our region, Beth Myers, and other stakeholders. We crafted legislation which was passed in the winter, signed into law by the governor in April, and that created a tax incremental district for the ton of cable. So when the timing is right for this project to move forward, then that's going to be a great piece of the puzzle, for that development. I talked a bit about the road construction, but we also, 2.5 years ago, when I said to the county we need to get together and do some planning on this, we created a marketing document for the business park, and it progressed, and now it leads to we actually have a road being built in. It's going to touch all the major parcels in that park. But it's not only just this business park that I've been working with. I've connected resources to other townships that do have business parks, and it's important that we assist as much as possible to get other businesses going around the county as well. You notice this banner here. It says telecommuting optimized. This is an initiative that myself and the state broadband director, Angie Dickinson, and the Wisconsin State Telecommunications Association and the Wisconsin Counties Association, we got together and we crafted legislation last fall, which again was passed by both the Assembly and the Senate this spring and signed into law by the governor in April. And it's a job creation tool. And we happen to be the first county, and not only Wisconsin to be certified as a telecommuter forward community, but the first in the nation, because there's never been legislation that's been crafted as such. And what this is that it's a job creation tool where a single point of contact in each county, and each county in Wisconsin now has the ability to apply through the Public Service Commission to be a telecommuter forward community. The single point of contact works with the broadband providers, the municipalities, make sure that they're telecommuter ready, and also to craft packages for businesses such as United Healthcare, Delta Dental of Wisconsin, others, of course, that hire a lot of telecommuters out of their homes within the county and in the region. So we're going to leverage, this and work more to grow more of those jobs. This picture here is of Frank Pearson and his wife Erica and one of their daughters. And as I was visiting Frank, he told me that he always had a desire to move out of Superior and get out in the country. And that's what he did. He lives north of Iron River out in the Hulu area. And he said, I used to live in the Twin Cities years ago. Cheryl and I did too before we moved back to the area for a few years. And he said, I could never see the stars well. And I couldn't even see them good in Superior. He said, but out here in Bayfield County, where I live, it's great. So again, that's a testimony to folks loving where they work, that they have the ability, because of the broadband infrastructure, to do that. We still have some strengthening to do, primarily in the northeast part of the county, and that's going on. But we want to leverage overall that we can grow this type of business. Noting some of the businesses that I've worked with as we've done some help to have them expand or to grow. And just the last couple I'll mention here, Velo Cafe in Cable is a brand new restaurant. And what I do is, as I'm visiting businesses and I discern what needs they have, then because we do not, in our EDC, we don't manage revolving loan funds. We don't have a pool here in Bayfield County. That revolving loan fund pool, as I mentioned before, is through the Northwest Regional Planning Commission in Spooner. So I connect with Ken. We make another visit. We discern what are the next steps, and they just received a loan and a facade loan for their building through Northwest Regional. And just very recently, Rob Snowball in the town of Barksdale. Rob has, for about 12, 13 years, he's run his business out of his home location. He has a Boss and Western snowplow franchise. He buys snowplows, he's putting them on trucks all year round. And we discerned that he had a need for some additional funding that helped his business, and that was a very much of an encouragement for him to get that. All right, so I kind of went through that, and now we're into the C's again, and we're talking about how we collaborate with the partners. And the largest collaboration, I'll have to say, has been historically with Ashland Area Development Corp. Back in 2011, when I started in that fall with Dale, the past director, he and other interested parties, when originally it was an Inventors and Entrepreneurs Club, we decided to go additionally new direction, and we crafted Business on Stage. And as David said, launched in 2012. We've been going strong for over 7 years and 4 events a year. And this, I really feel, and as we've known as a planning group, we really feel we are encouragers for folks to show up, to learn about businesses, pick a gem and apply it to their business. As a group, we formed a regional broadband group, and a couple retired UW Extension guys are here tonight, Tim Kane and Tom Wojciechowski. Tim was the predecessor to Kelly's position in Bayfield County, and they were part of our broadband group. We went to broadband boot camps around the state a couple times, And we also did an event of bringing vendors into WITC for the public. So that's a great collaboration. Dale and I were one of the founding members of the Regional Economic Development Group, Visions Northwest, for the 10 counties in our area. And also, we've done tours for students, getting them into manufacturers, exposing them to those type of businesses. And also, a couple of years ago, we did an event highlighting the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation's Fab Lab grants, and brought tech ed teachers and administrators to explain, how schools could apply to those grants. Ashland High School got one locally a year and a half ago, so that was very encouraging. Others have applied from around the area as well. Last year, we also brought tech ed teachers from the entire CISA 12 region, northern part of the state, and we brought businesses together to help the tech ed teachers learn how they can work with business to strengthen their curriculums. And we're going to do another event to do just the same, because we feel that it is important to help those schools get as prepared as possible to get the training to the students early, so they can get more training that they need and then fulfill jobs that are open here in this area, all around the region. Also, we have great collaboration with our county chambers. We have an in-kind membership, our BCDC in-kind membership to the chambers and vice versa. We've done some after-5 events. There's always fun to go out and meet the businesses there. And an extension of the Iron River Chamber, we formed an Iron River Economic Development Group back in 2013, made some progress on some initiatives in Iron River, and one of the folks that we had encouraged happens to be here tonight, Jim Taylor of Runamuck Rides. He has other locations, and myself and others encouraged him to look at siting in Iron River and welcomed him, and by gosh, if he didn't buy a business there. So we're glad to have Jim in the area. Also, we've done collaboration with the UW Stevens Point Northern Aquaculture Demonstration Facility up in Red Cliff. We've had some discussions in the past with potential businesses that might want to site for aquaculture or aquaponics in the area. We've also worked together with them and along with Bayfield County. We did a grant a little over a year ago for Bayfield High School, and that enabled the funding to train a couple of the teachers. That's one of the teachers here, and new equipment for their students to learn about aquaponics. So we also, our ADC, have done some separate funding for Washburn and Bayfield High School and aquaponics as well. Other key collaborations, I mentioned before, Northwest Wisconsin Workforce Investment Board and Northwest SEP as well. Their initiatives to support and strengthen businesses. The Northwest SEP has on-the-job training programs that are very helpful to businesses, youth apprenticeships in the high schools. WITC has been a great partner with us for hosting tech ed events, other events as well throughout the years. And of course, they're on the front lines of training students to get them prepared for those jobs I mentioned. UW Extension, again, historically been a great partner with us. Again, Business on Stage, broadband and tech ed conferences. We have a chapter of the Tech Council Innovation Network Lake Superior, which is an umbrella chapter of the Wisconsin Technology Council. Historically, over the years, we've done the Lake Superior Business and Technology Conferences. We had some business idea contests in the past. Haven't been doing those lately, but that group has been partnering with the Tech Ed conferences and also will be a key partner with us in the Tech Ed event this fall. The UW Superior Small Business Development Center, Andy Donahue, the director there, I've done some co-work with him on some reviewing business plans with businesses. I also refer him to some analysis that businesses need as well. And also, there's another gentleman here that lives in Washburn, Craig Showalter. And Craig has had a business for 31 years called Business Plans, etc. And Craig is really gifted in helping businesses with feasibility plans, with business plans as well, and he's done projects all over the country. So we're grateful to have him as a resource as well. Apex has been another partner that our EDC has utilized. They're an economic development group from Duluth, Minnesota. They cover the northeast Minnesota and northwestern Wisconsin counties of Douglas, Bayfield, and Ashland. We've done some studies with them on different business sector areas to discern, are there ways that we can help a business grow into a certain area and fulfill more of those needs instead of those needs being sent all over the country. And most recently we're updating one of those studies, and we're hopeful that when that comes out, we might have a local business that could add that to their business mix. So as I wrap up, I just want to close with sharing a writing from a book. Working for Larson Jewell for 33 plus years, I realized it's been an opportunity to use my skill sets and passions to come alongside businesses to assist them to be successful in their business. As I was seeking new employment after I left Larson Jewell, I came upon this book from Ken Geyer, and this particular writing encouraged me. No matter what job I would secure, I realized that the passions of my heart to serve others would continue to be unearthed in whatever job that I would acquire. So, I just want to encourage you to seek the passions of your heart in your life and vocation. Thanks.
Thanks, Scotty. You certainly will have big shoes to fill when you retire. Let's give another hand to Scotty.
They're just 9.5.
Just 9.5, of course. Next up, we have Betsy Harris. Betsy is also a native to the area, born and raised in Ashland. Betsy was hired as the Executive Director of the Ashland Area Development Corporation 1 year ago, in July 2017, and she brings an incredibly diverse professional background to her post. Betsy has a BS in Forest Management from Stevens Point, and has worked for the Missouri Department of Conservation, the Douglas County Forestry Department, and the U.S. Forest Service in northern Minnesota. In addition to her forestry background, Betsy also spent nearly a decade of her career in the U.S. Marine Corps, working in security and law enforcement in both Southern California and Okinawa, Japan. Betsy is also an artist and entrepreneur. Her art business, Sweetgrass Trading Company, is in its 11th year. Her artwork has received numerous awards at art shows and exhibitions. Most recently, Betsy served as a sustainability coordinator at Northland College, coaching students in developing their own sustainable businesses and programs. In the first year with the AADC, Betsy has been busy managing the Enterprise Center, providing support services to new and existing businesses, and advocating for economic development throughout Ashland County. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Betsy Harris.
Thank you, Kelly. Pull up my program here. There we go. Well, it's good to see so many familiar faces tonight. Thank you all for coming. I see some folks I went to high school with. And to those folks I say, your worst nightmare has come true. I've got a microphone and I know what you did when you were 16. When Scotty and I first started putting our presentations together, we agreed that this event would be a success if the audience leaves tonight feeling like you've learned a boatload about our local economic development agencies. We certainly hope that this program gives you a better understanding of how our organizations work and how we serve the Chequamegon Bay area. And we hope that in the next several months, some of you who may have been toying with the idea of starting your own businesses will feel inspired to take action because now you know more about the assistance and support that we offer. And we're here to help you take those first steps. As Scotty said, and this is important to know, our support services are all free. AADC's Business Services Specialist, Kate Taylor, is here tonight. Kate, would you stand up, please, so folks can see you? Kate has a background in banking and marketing, and she is very sharp. She loves a good challenge, and so please don't be afraid to call her and say that you're starting at square one and you need some assistance getting your business off the ground. Kate's business cards are on the table in the back, so please pick up one or maybe a couple as you go out the door, along with a lot of other information too. AADC's mission is to support and promote the economic vitality of the Ashland area. And to make that happen, we help entrepreneurs start their businesses, we manage the Enterprise Center, we help establish businesses grow, we administer pools of money for businesses to borrow, we welcome businesses who are interested in moving to the area, we manage grants for community projects, and we promote the Chequamegon Bay area at every opportunity. We've been in existence in one form or another for 61 years now. We've been at our current location for 17 years. Our building is called the Enterprise Center, and it's located at the corner of Vaughan and 3rd Street West in Ashland, right across from the Presbyterian Church. The building was originally built as a car dealership. Later it housed Muncie Ware, and then, of course, Larson Jewell, which made the picture frames for many years and now is located out in Industrial Park. And so AADC acquired this building in 2000 after Larson Jewell built their new facility out on the east end of town in the Industrial Park. The Enterprise Center is a very large building. It's about 60,000 square feet. And most people don't realize how many different things are going on within the building. And in addition to AADC's offices being located there, we also offer office space, manufacturing space, and indoor storage units for rent. The Enterprise offers incubator services to new businesses. And although you don't have to have a brand new business to rent space in the Enterprise Center, many of our services there have been intentionally created to help businesses get started. The first few years of a business's existence can be pretty challenging. Startup costs can be a little bit of a struggle until the money starts rolling in. By offering incubator other services, we're trying to make the process of starting a new business easier and less expensive. For example, we have a large photocopier that our tenants could use so that new business owner doesn't have to sink money into buying a new photocopier. We have a beautiful professional conference room that our tenants can use to meet with clients or potential customers. We have a good-sized lunchroom for their employees to use. And we maintain a pool of office furniture that entrepreneurs can borrow so they don't have to spend money on buying new items that first few years. AADC is a nonprofit organization. We're not part of the City of Ashland or Ashland County government. We have a staff of 4, including myself. I have a board of directors made up of 14 community members and 6 ad hoc members, and those 20 people represent a wide variety of business sectors across the county. My board members include bankers, manufacturers, attorneys, higher ed, healthcare, nonprofit directors, and elected officials. They are a very important resource for me because I can call on any of them for specific advice. AADC serves all of Ashland County, which has about 15,000 people, and half of them live within the city of Ashland, and about half of them live in the rural areas. So although the majority of businesses are located within Ashland, within the city of Ashland, it's important to recognize the significance of the businesses in the smaller towns. So that includes Mellon, Marengo, Linden, Butternut, and Bad River. And many people don't realize that Madeline Island is located in Ashland County, not in Bayfield County. And as Scotty had said, political boundaries can be a little deceptive because much of our area's workforce lives in one town but drives to another town for work every day. People who live in Washburn, which is in Bayfield County, travel to the city of Ashland to work, and vice versa. Myself, I was surprised to find out that many of our larger businesses in Ashland draw a lot of their employees from the Hurley-Ironwood area. And some of them, up to a third of their employees come from Hurley and Ironwood. And in fact, as an example, Columbia Forest Products in Mellon, a third of their employees travel back and forth from Hurley and Ironwood every day. So it's important to understand that when it comes to promoting economic development and marketing the Shawinigan Bay area, political boundaries between the counties fade to the background. When we form partnerships for the good of the area, we are definitely stronger and more effective when we work together to promote the region. Which is good. What is good for the city of Washburn is generally good for the city of Ashland, and what's good for Ashland County is generally good for Bayfield County. Tourists traveling to Bayfield for the Apple Festival, some of them will be coming through Ashland. They'll be staying in our lodging here, using our restaurants, visiting our downtown. So it is a very important partnership across the region to support each other. And again, as Scotty had said, an important part of promoting economic development depends on the quality of life that our community can offer to new businesses that are thinking about moving to the area. So that has everything to do with how business owners' families, and just as important, the employees' families in that business view the Ashland area. If the spouses and the partners, the spouses and the children are not impressed with our area and the quality of life that they perceive we offer, they're not going to want to move here. And the employees and their families, they're going to be judging the quality of our schools, if our neighborhoods are safe, is daycare available when they're ready to expand their families, what really cool recreation areas do we have nearby. And the fact that many communities in Ashland County can offer that small town feel, yet also offer an airport and golf courses, marinas, a technical college and a four-year college, and an impressive collection of healthcare providers is to our favor when we're trying to track new business development in the future. Now, believe it or not, I know it sounds a little crazy to me, and maybe to you too, Wisconsin winters attract a lot of people who want to live and work here. And they wouldn't have it any other way, and they smile all the way through every snowstorm. For other people, like myself, winters are a bit more intimidating. This is a picture of my staff and I walking to work last winter. I'm kind of right back here at the last in line. We feel cold and sad. In some winters we feel very, very cold and very, very sad. Moving on to the business relationship parts of it. You know, one of AABC's most important roles is the support that we offer to entrepreneurs. We have a plethora of smart, creative, energetic people in this region. And in the Shawinigan Bay area, lots of skilled folks. However, and I know from personal experience, having started my own business 10, 11 years ago, you can be very skilled in a particular area and have a lot of passion for what you do, but that doesn't mean that you know how to start a business. That's a whole other skill set. So for the folks that need help getting a new business started, we are their first step. We help entrepreneurs write their business plans, find financing, develop a marketing plan, and connect them with specialized resources. But it all starts with the business plan. And that is the document that opens the door to finding finances to getting your business started. And so that's one of the most important things that we do. Even more importantly, when an aspiring entrepreneur takes the time to thoroughly plan out the first few years of their businesses, they will, without a doubt, have a better chance of success. We offer classes geared for entrepreneurs to cover the basics of starting a business. And our next class is coming up on August 2nd. It'll be held in Ashland. And it's nearly full, so contact us soon if you think you might want to reserve a seat. This is the new Shelter Shop. It's a new thrift store that recently opened in Ashland. It's staffed by volunteers from the Shawinigan Humane Association. And before opening their doors, they reached out to AABC and we helped them work through the first steps of starting their brand new business. And if you haven't been in there yet, I highly encourage you to stop by because they've got a good thing going on there. This is at 218 4th Avenue West. It's right across from the Associated Bank. We serve established businesses as well. The Burger Barn recently moved from Marengo to Ashland and reinvented itself into a bigger, better Burger Barn, bringing beautiful beef and bountiful bottomless bowls, brimming with bodacious broccoli, beans, beets. Jackson Kaiser, the owner, contacted AABC as he was developing his plan to move his business here, and we were absolutely delighted to assist him as he applied for financing through the City of Ashland's revolving loan fund. AABC currently manages 8 pools of money that are available for entrepreneurs to apply for their businesses. And it can be a business that's just about to launch, or it can be an established business, somebody who's already seen some success. These revolving loan funds are also called gap financing because usually the business owner will bring some of their own money to the table, or they'll have some money that they can get from the bank, but not quite everything that they need to get that business started, and that's where those revolving loan funds come into play. They make up the difference. So those 8 revolving loan fund accounts that AADC manages has about $2.7 million available. Some of that is out there in working for businesses right now, and some of it's in the bank waiting for businesses to ask for it. Those revolving loan fund accounts are owned by Ashland County, the City of Ashland, Town of Jacobs, Butternut, the Ashland Chamber of Commerce, and AADC has 3 of its own. The first 5 on this list hire the services of AADC to manage their accounts. So we would help the business owners fill out the application forms, fill out the loan paperwork, and after the loans are made, AADC works with the business owners and the account owners to make sure that payments are being made and that everything is progressing. So you may have read in the daily press a couple of weeks ago that revolving loan funds in the state of Wisconsin are being closed out. The first 4 on this list in the red font are the accounts that are going to be liquidated. They amount to about $2.3 million of that $2.7 million that we had available. So that's a lot. That's a lot of money. The good news is that the intent of that closeout program is to return some, if not all of that money, to the municipalities to use in their communities as grant money. But it will only be available to be used for specific projects that meet specific requirements. And it's grant money, so the communities will only be able to use it once, and then it's gone. The bad news for businesses is that we'll no longer have that money to be able to use over and over again. Loan it out to one business, as they pay it back, then it's available for other businesses to use. Another of AADC's roles is grant writing and serving as a fiscal agent for community projects. Past projects you may recognize in these slides are the building of the dock for the USGS kayak research vessel. Here's a photo, an aerial photo taken after the dock was built, but before the ore dock was dismantled. Another project was the Laurie Jean Zach Center in Glidden. And a third project was the rebuilding of the Sioux Line Depot when it was destroyed by fire. And it is wonderful that we still have that building here today that's housing businesses. Yeah, that was an awesome success. So moving on to collaboration, community, and communication, it's really important to note, and I can't say this enough, everything AADC does, every project that we work on, every business we help or support, requires cooperation and collaboration between AADC and our community partners. There is virtually nothing that we can accomplish on our own. It all takes partnerships. And that includes events like the one you're attending tonight, which is the result of the sponsorship and planning of multiple area organizations. Before I forget, I want to make sure you know that Business on Stage events have been going on for many years. We've been recording them and putting them online, thanks to Justin Rito, who has been very diligent and very professional in making sure we get quality results. So you can go online, businessonstage.org, and see videos of all our events, and we have had some spectacular presenters in the past, business owners and entrepreneurs who shared their stories of how they came up with the ideas for their businesses, the struggles, the successes. They are very, very interesting.
All the way back to Gary Lapine.
Remember what year that was?
January of 2012.
Oh, okay. There you go. So the strong relationships AADC has with our community partners are the reason why Ashland County has several community-changing projects moving forward right now. And this includes the future Evergrow Learning Center, which will address the lack of daycare in the Ashland area. The lack of daycare is a huge obstacle for our workforce. Young professionals that have made the decision to either start their family or expand their family, they're not likely to stay in the area if there isn't the daycare available for them to actually realize their family dreams. And we don't want to lose our workforce to other communities that do have the daycare available. Many local business owners are feeling the strain of filling their job vacancies right now, and the lack of daycare availability is one of those reasons. The UW Extension Office completed a survey a few years ago that helped us assess the need for daycare, and the data was conclusive that we most certainly have a gap between the need and what is supplied by providers right now. The future Evergrow Learning Center will have 100 enrollment spots, which includes several spots for infants. But this is an example of how many community partners come together to make it happen, and in this case, WIB has been extremely important in making this happen. So that partnership between the Workforce Investment Board and AADC is a good example of local organizations working together to make great things happen. The Workforce Investment Board has provided the lion's share of the workload required to write the grants, meet the licensing requirements, and so much of the paperwork that's required to launch a new business, that's a daycare. AADC is the fiscal agent for several grants that will be helping to finance the Learning Center. And then, of course, donations from local companies and individuals are also helping us meet our funding goal. This is a photo of Jason Douglas from Memorial Medical Center presenting a check, a donation to AADC and the Workforce Investment Board. I'd like to talk for just a moment about the drug addiction crisis that is gripping the region. Although meth and opioid addiction are both wreaking havoc on our community, meth addiction is more prevalent in our region right now. Addressing drug addiction is not traditionally something AADC would have gotten involved with in the past, but our area is dealing with an unprecedented crisis, and it's also greatly affecting our business owners who are trying to fill some of their job vacancies. AADC is working arm in arm with about 25 other organizations to develop a unified plan for action to address drug addiction in the Chequamegon Bay area. I see AADC's role as helping to facilitate the gathering of the groups and the voices, and helping to find financing to fund our action plans. Our region has several treatment providers, nonprofits, and coalitions that have been actively addressing drug addiction for several years. We're going to need funding to help us pay for treatment programs and facilities, and our experience tells us that foundations and government agencies that offer these types of grant opportunities, they consistently favor communities that work together to develop a unified plan and can demonstrate strong partnerships across the board. So we are trying to position ourselves to set us up for the condition of being able to compete very well for grants and attract more money to our area. Back to the Kayai, another project AADC is currently helping with involves that Kayai research vessel that belongs to the USGS. When the vessel was built, followed by its dock, the next phase of that project was to build a facility near the dock for the scientists and researchers. And that phase of the project didn't happen when the dock was built, but a group of citizens kept that dream alive, and in 2017, those people asked AADC to form a steering committee to study the possibility of developing a world-class research facility near the Kayai dock that would encourage collaborative research between several agencies. Their hope is that the data collected by the collaborative research would better inform the public and policymakers how to protect Lake Superior and its resources. AADC's Board of Directors agreed to create the steering committee and be the fiscal agent for grant funding used to study the possibility of bringing the research facility to life. This summer, we are in the middle of the feasibility study that should tell us whether it's a good idea or not. So many of the folks here that are my age will remember the days when we had railroad tracks throughout Ashland County. Not seeing so much of them these days. AADC is participating with the Northwest Rail Transit Commission, which would really like Canadian National to reopen some of the lines in northern Wisconsin. The majority of raw or finished product that would be shipped out of Ashland County would be related to the wood products industry. And part of our job as an economic development agency is to inform our legislators about the needs of our communities. And as you can see from this map, that most of the forest products industry in Wisconsin is in the upper third of the state, in here. And we need to make sure that northern voices are heard all the way down in Madison. I'm going to close by saying that I feel really good about where the Chequamegon Bay area and the Ashland area is headed right now. I feel really optimistic, despite the problems that we're facing with drug addiction, despite the obstacles, creating challenges for our employers and our employees. I still feel very hopeful. I feel this way because I am seeing these community partners, our community partners, all of us, we're increasing our willingness and our efforts to work together to tackle some of these really tough issues that we're facing. So I 100% believe that partnerships are the key to moving forward, and I hope that you all feel as optimistic as I do. Thank you.